Hi, Councilor Allen.
Hi.
Counselor.
Hogan. All right, so it is 11:30, so we can go ahead and get started with this committee meeting for neighborhood preservations. I'm Counselor Allen. I see on the line we have Counselor Green, Counselor Driscoll, Counselor Hogan, and I see Commissioner Collins as well on the line. And Commissioner, I think I've seen Jake somewhere just sign on. The Shaw's here. Okay. All right. So we can go ahead and get started. And what we'll do, I know we do have, my items are starting to ramp back up again. So there are a few that we'll discuss today. So if we can, Michelle, I would assume you are taking care of the ones that are going to the land bank. So since we have quite a few of those, we can start there.
Sure. Michelle Stefanski, Neighborhood and Business Development. So we have about 11 properties that are going to put forward for the upcoming vote. I sent out the sheet with all of the amounts that are owed a few minutes ago, so you should have all received that. I can run through what the amounts are if you'd like me to, Councilor Allen.
Yes, can you do that for those that don't have that email?
Yep. So we have 102 Rosewood, which is District 1, owes about $11,000. 119 Beecher Street, District 1 owes $12,000. 147 Fitz Street, District 2 owes $12,000. 160 Calthrop Ave West, District 4 owes $10,000. 167 Lafayette Ave West owes about $7,000. 223 Inglewood in District 3 owes $8,000. 228-30 Palmer Ave, District 4 owes $11,000. 248-50 Lincoln Ave, District 4 owes $13,000. 329 North Beach Street, District 1 owes $11,000. And 711 East Willow Street, District 1 owes $6,000. We suspect that all of these properties are vacant. There's two that we're in the process of verifying the occupancy based on the status of the water currently, and I can provide updates for those two at the study session. Those two properties are 223 Inglewood and 228-30 Palmer.
Okay, thank you. I do like that you, I mean, I know before when we were in the chambers, we would get the list and it would give us the amounts, but only we could see those amounts. I do like that you bring the amounts that are owed up, because it kind of puts it into perspective of how much money like each district is losing out on those homes with the taxes. So I do like that you do that now. I don't see, a few of them are in District 1, but I don't see Councilor Carney on. But Councilor Hogan and I believe Majoke, he's not on either. So Councilor Hogan, you have one, I believe, on here.
I'm okay with that Fitz Street residents going to the land bank. Thank you.
Okay. And I was definitely okay with mine. So is there any other discussion relative to these? No. So can I have a motion for these to appear on the agenda next week from one of the committee members?
So moved.
Councilor Allen, if I could just interject here, it's interesting. And I love that Michelle also put where the billing addresses are of these places. It seems like almost half of them are from folks that probably speculated and bought these houses, and they're from out of town. So,
right,
like far out of town. So, thanks,
right.
Michelle. Thanks, Councilor.
Okay. All right. So if there's no other questions, we can go ahead and move forward to the other items. Thank you, Michelle. So we have, I believe, Yolanda or Jake, I'm not sure which one of you guys are. We have 3 encroachments on here, I believe.
Yes, there are 3 encroachments. There's one for, I'm sorry, it's Yolanda Johnson from the Central Permit Office. So it's 601 Lemoyne Ave. They're asking permission for existing set of concrete steps that's going to encroach 10 feet into the right of way. And then second one is for 401 North Lowell Ave. They're also asking for permission for an awning that's going to encroach 3 feet 4 inches into the right of way. And the third is for 511 by 15 East Fayette Street. They're asking for permission for a concrete ramp and an aluminum canopy that will encroach 4 feet into the right of way. And that's it.
And these are, this is taking too long for it to load, but these are commercial or residential?
Let me see. So I believe they are all, I think one might have been commercial, but the other one was like a building, and one was residential. Yeah.
Okay.
Councilor Allen,
Yolanda,
this is
601, I'm
Mr.
sorry,
Director.
Councilor Allen. 601 Lemoyne Ave, is that the place that's going to be a convenience store? Do you know?
I don't think so. It's a building, and it looks like the stairs actually encroach. It's the address is 601 Lemoyne Ave, but the actual,
Yolanda,
yes.
I just want to jump in here real quick. This is Minnehaha Permits Director, Councilor Hogan. That is the property that will be a convenience store. I believe it's been circled around a few times in some email threads. All 3 properties should be commercial.
Okay.
Right. Thank you. That's the one that I've received a lot of feedback from the
Yes.
neighbors on. So.
And they are allowed to be there by right.
Right, I know, but when you say that by right to the residents of that particular neighborhood, they go by who's right usually, but that's the way it is.
Right.
I just want to
there's-
point out something, Counselor Hogan. They have a right to have a building, but they don't have the right to use of the right of way. That's the determination of the Common Council.
Yes, and I think they'll probably have to come to us at some point for a special permit, I imagine, too, if they wanted to prepare food or anything like that, correct? City Clerk?
I'm not sure on a convenience store. All I'm saying is they're not entitled to use our right of way. I mean, that's not
Right.
something they're entitled to use. But they may have a right to have a convenience store there, but the process, I'm not sure if they need a special permit or not, if they're existing already.
They do. A lot of those stores go that route, so.
So they
Okay.
have obtained all approvals and obtained all building permits. They've just had a delay in construction. So I apologize for the miscommunication, but what I meant was by right, and that they have obtained all approvals to be in the space and to build out
Right,
accordingly.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. Thank you very much. I'm aware of how that works. I was just making light of the, nomenclature of the zoning and planning office. Because that doesn't always translate to the neighborhood folks. So, yeah, okay, thank you. I'm not saying okay to it, though. I probably will, if it was up to me, I probably would hold this for further study on my part.
Well, we have
Councilor
we
Allen,
make
if
that
I may.
decision today. Yep, go ahead.
Counselor Hogan, what I want to do, just point out, is that these are very, very old existing steps that are required for egress out of the building. They're actually on the rear left side portion of the building, which faces Spring Street. And one is a common area door, I believe, up to the upstairs apartment units. The city clerk is correct. They do need this permission to use the right of way to have those steps there, but those would be required for safety reasons to get in and out of the building. They would be off the sidewalk. Anybody familiar with the right of way on the north side, they can be extremely wide. I'm not saying it changes the condition. I just want to make you aware that this is something that's been with the building for probably since origination. I'd have to look up the year of construction, but a long, long time that these have existed there, and that they would be needed for the tenants to safely ingress and egress out of the building. So to keep that in consideration when reviewing this. It got pointed out on this new project that these were encroaching, so we wanted them to go through the process to be covered under an encroachment should those get approved by council to be there. So just to clarify the environment and the situation.
Gotcha.
I appreciate that, Jake. Also, there's more ancillary actions that are happening with that particular owner that I've got issues with. Mainly the parking's sort of out of control. They're parking in the right of way up there quite a bit. And that's a to the continuing consternation of the neighbors. So I would much prefer to like hold this until I can look at this and study this a little bit, if I could, Councilor Allen. 601 anyways.
So that's okay with me and the other committee members. You guys are good with that? Holding it? Who else is on the line? Just one.
Yeah, I'm okay with that, Councilor from Driscoll.
Okay. All right. So we'll hold that for further consideration. Okay. And those were the only three that you had, Yolanda, correct?
Yes,
Okay. All right. Thank you.
no problem. Thank you.
All right. And so I believe the other ones are these out of the law department?
Counselor Allen, I have one that I'm filling in for Kristen on, but I don't know if there's others.
Okay. Actually, it's just one. So yep, you can go
Counselor
ahead.
Allen, I just want to clarify, you didn't make a motion to move the other two permissions forward. Did you want those to go forward?
Yes, I'm sorry. I apologize. So can I make a motion to move the other two properties that were just presented under the DPW encroachments?
Second, yeah, I'm good with it.
All
One
right.
of them, just to be clear, one of them needs some supplemental information. As long as we get that, it can go forward, but I'm assuming that's coming, one of the permissions. We don't have all the information yet.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, John.
Okay.
All right. So you can go ahead now. I'm sorry.
Okay, Jake Dishaw, Director of Code Enforcement, presenting legislation amendment to General Ordinance number 30 of 1993. This is to make sure all of our local laws and ordinances are consistent with the state regulation to perform our certificate of compliance inspections every 3 years instead of the listed 5 in that 1993 ordinance. As well as dormitories on a 1-year annual inspection interval. So again, that will make it consistent with what New York State Division of Code Enforcement sets forth under their requirements for our administration and enforcement of the Uniform Code here in the city of Syracuse, and will actually improve housing conditions by performing these more frequently every 3 years. So that's it. Any questions? Let me know.
I am all for that one. Reducing it down to 3 years. But any other questions or comments?
Yeah, Jake, so we said larger from 5 to 3. Sorry, my internet
You're
fading out. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit.
Try again, Counselor.
All right. It's multi-units going from 5 to 3 years, correct?
Sorry, I missed the beginning. This is for multiple dwelling units, 3 units and up, or mixed use residential and commercial that this would be applicable to. Was that the question?
He logs off.
I guess we could come back to that question, but I think he was asking what this was applicable to. And this would be for any multiple dwelling, 3 units and up, or any mixed use, commercial and residential. So it could be as small as one apartment, 1 commercial, like this 601 Lemoyne, which might have a couple apartments, but and our big skyrise, high-rise complexes like Skyline, and everything in between.
My other question was, Jake, did you say that dorms are every year?
Yes, yep, dormitories would be reflected to be an annual, and we do partner with the universities on that. And they do actually have licensed code officials that we attend conferences with that are on their staff. So we have a pretty good working relationship with them on those.
It just seems a strange use of resources to me, because I'd imagine the dorms would probably be in better shape than most of the buildings in the city, right? It just seems kind of strange to me that we've had, the reason we had them on 5-year cycles was because we couldn't hit everything, right? Like it was a capacity issue. So it just seems to me like, what was the thought process behind doing dorms annually?
This is state mandated. We have to highlight this to be in regulation with the state. Now, what I mentioned with partnering with the universities is that a lot of times we can work with them, since they're doing their inspections with certified New York State code officials, and use those reports to satisfy the state requirements. So I would agree with you, yeah. But with that said, there have been some tragic dormitory fires within the last 5 or 10 years. Seton Hall comes to mind as I believe, a tragic one not too long ago. But yeah, we want to make sure we're partnering with our local universities and other institutes that might have these dormitory style buildings, and making sure that they're in compliance per the state regulations. That's all this is, to make it consistent with that.
Thanks, Jake. That makes sense. Appreciate it.
Jake, that's got to be fairly manpower intensive, or isn't it? We just work off their reports.
For those, we'll try to work off their reports and their inspections with their staff, who are, they have fire marshals and certified code inspectors that are performing those. So, yeah, it shouldn't take up much resources from us to ensure that that's happening. More reporting than anything. But we will do more inspections on the other buildings every 3 years versus 5. Though, our apartment buildings that don't fall on university property or similar properties.
So hopefully predicated on the new budget being approved. How many new guys you're gonna get, Jake, have you asked for?
We're looking to fill 6 inspector positions currently.
Excellent. You certainly need them. So thank you.
Okay. All right. So do I have a motion to move this item on the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All right. And I believe we have 3 other items from assessments. So I see Dave Clifford on the line.
Good morning, Counselor.
Hello.
The first item that we have from assessment is 547 Spencer Street, the sale of 547 Spencer Street to the adjoining owner. This is a narrow strip of land, triangular piece of land, and we're selling that to them for $45 because it's such a small, unusable piece of land.
$45.
Yep. It's only 7.6 feet wide at its widest, and then it narrows down to nothing. So
Okay.
it's a very unusable parcel of land.
We couldn't even get 50 though. Why you buy 45?
That's set by the formula that was put together, which I believe we're going to be revising, which set a per square foot value of certain parcels of land, unbuildable parcels of land. We're looking at changing that.
Okay. Yeah, let's bump that up. All right. So do I have a motion to move this item on the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All right.
The other 2 items are basically corrections of prior ordinances. Due to the gap, the difference between the time that the council approves these things and when the land bank actually goes to take possession, in some cases, what used to have a house on it, the house will get demolished in the interim. And I believe that's the case in these 2, where the description said Woodhouse, and really now it's a vacant lot.
Okay, so we're just changing the language on these ones.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Commissioner Clever, is that, if I could hop in real quick, Counselor, is that, who knocks down the, who does these demos? Is that a land bank action as well, or does the?
If it's, I mean, it depends on the property. In some cases, the city has to do an emergency demolition. Sometimes the property owner does it. And I can't really tell you on these, how that rolled out.
Gotcha, thanks.
And those were for, you said 2 properties. What were the, is the address listed in the amendment or no?
Yes.
Okay.
The first one is 518 Mosley Drive. And the second one is 104 Graves Street.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Clifford. And can I have a motion to put these 2 items on the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Second, Driscoll. Okay, and I believe that's it. Correct, Jessica? Okay. Jessica left us from the council office, but she's still like my go-to. So I gotta make sure she's helping me out. All right, so we're all set here. And I will see you guys later. Thank you for joining and participating. Bye.
Counselor?